Hi guys, welcome to week 2. There'll only be one more week after this. So, a massive thank you for all of you that produced such excellent work last week. Hopefully, you found a system that works for you, and we'll be very much doing the same housekeeping this week, but with some very, very different tasks to do this week that I hope you'll enjoy. As ever, make sure that all the work is uploaded into the correct Showbie group. And you need to start by opening a good notes folder entitled English Lockdown Project Week 2. Okay, so let's begin this week. Attached in the weekly tasks is a BBC News article named Sealed for a Century, and it's about a World War I soldier, Edward Ambrose. What I'd like you to do is read this through. It was absolutely fascinating. Then I would like you to answer these 2 questions, but not just a very brief answer. I want you to write a paragraph for each. So, what do the contents of the soldier's suitcase show about his life? That's when you've got to look at the individual items and try and make links as to what it says about his lifestyle, his character, his job. Remember, English is always about making assumptions, and that's what I want you to do with them. The next is a far more personal question, and it is this: what do you consider the most inspirational item in the suitcase, and why? So we take different ideas about inspirational. You can take that question to mean whether, if you were a soldier in the same situation as Edward Ambrose, how you would feel, what would give you courage, what would give you inspiration during that difficult time, or what sparks your imagination as being the most useful. You decide how you answer that question. It's very much up to you. So that's task 1. So please, in your Good Notes folder, label it task 1 and then write your paragraphs, okay? That shouldn't be too much of a difficulty. So, thinking and using that as inspiration, I would like you, as your second task, to interview a family member or a friend. You're going to need to do some preparation for this task, and I want you to prepare some open questions. Open questions are the opposite of closed questions. Closed questions just end up with a yes or no answer. In order to be a good journalist, you need to ask open questions. And I want you to find out how your family member or friend feels about the lockdown situation, what they have learnt, and their plans for after the pandemic is over. You might want to just make notes as you're interviewing them, or you might record it and then play back. So we've got who, what, when, where, how, why, how, another one, will, and if. So I've written a couple of examples in the blue box for you if you're not sure. So what will you appreciate the most after lockdown? For me, it will definitely be my families and friends. So I might just write friends as my answer for that. The question if, I thought I'd give you an example. So if you knew what you do now, how would you have prepared differently? History teaches us lessons, literature teaches us lessons, and it would be really nice for you to document that as an answer to the question. Obviously, you might have the same answers as the person that you're interviewing, or it might strike up some interesting conversations about how different people feel and what are their priorities, etc. So, in the weekly tasks, there will be this grid. So you might want to change the format size and have the question along with a brief answer. So that is your second task, okay? Try not to do it in your books because it's quite difficult to read people's work. So it's easier on the iPad for that. Okay. In order to give you inspiration for the next task, you're going to be watching a clip from I Am Legend, okay? It's a very short clip, but just look through that. If you, for any reason, can't get onto it, just YouTube or type in I Am Legend Will Smith entering his home, and that will give you the clip that I've used. And in fact, actually, I'll put the link on Show My Homework and in the weekly tasks for you. Okay, so the third task is dun, 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 to produce a survival kit for this pandemic. Okay, so there are some rules because otherwise your imaginations would just go crazy and I don't want that to happen. So there should be 12 items in your kit. You can have simple items for personal hygiene or safety. You can include in your survival kit items that have been essential but difficult to get. So think of things that in the supermarkets people have had trouble getting. You can have cheap, but you must have non-electric entertainment items. So your survival kit cannot be a TV or a PlayStation. Okay, they have to be things that will help you to survive. So think back to the article that you read, the things that will inspire you, comfort you, entertain you, thinking back from that previous week of the work you have done. That should help you. It can be a survival kit for either yourself or for your whole family that you are in lockdown with. So please make sure that that's very clear. Once you've decided on your items, you're going to write a detailed instruction guide for getting the most out of the lockdown survival kit. So you might do a cover page and say, welcome to Miss Cook's survival kit. I've put a picture of a bag of pasta, and then I'm going to put some comprehensive, so comprehensive means easy to understand, detailed and entertaining information. So as a hard to get item, this large packet of pasta will satisfy even the hungriest families. It is a versatile ingredient that can be cooked quickly, encouraging children to experiment with cooking. It can be partnered with other store cupboard essentials, resulting in a decline in arguments as it is quick to cook, filling and delicious, and reduces washing up times. I'm not sure if the third one's true, but it sounded good at the time. And in my survival lockdown booklet, I thought that I would actually put in some recipes. So this is fun for you to do. Some items you'll have more to say than others. You might give the instructions to a game that you play that you might want people to understand. You might have just different pictures of people. You might have a particular piece or piece of art equipment or a special toy. It can be entirely up to you. That is your third and final challenge. So Let's just go over the summary of week 2's tasks. You're going to read the article and answer the 2 questions on the slide. That, for the majority of you, won't take the full session. So you might, in that first session, if you're breaking it up like you have done with the timetable, you might prepare the interview questions for your family member. Then you need to write down their answers, and that should be on a GoodNotes document. The third one, which will be a very quick piece of work, just to inspire you into the things that you might want to include in your survival kit, is to watch the I Am Legend, and then producing a 12-item survival kit with instructional leaflets. And the more creative you get about this, the better. I'm probably imagining that that will take you over one whole session of English, so that might end up being 2. However you do it, guys, just enjoy it. Try and think about the week's 1's work that you did, because that actually really builds into this idea. And all that's left to say is I'm done waffling for this week. Any questions, please ask your teacher or myself on Showbie, and have a great week. Take care. Bye for now.